You're listening to 91.3 FM, WCOW in Worcester, Massachusetts, the United States of America, Worcester. As I know there are Worcesters in other countries, I was told, which was kind of surprising. Tonight on the show, we have owner, creator, clothing line, Gothic, boutique, alternative, independent artist, Laura Haslam, on the show with us, calling in all the way from overseas. Thank you for calling in to us, Laura.
Thank you, Chris. Great to be on the show.
Eighth Sin is an affordable alternative boutique, and they have been supplying alternative subcultures with high-quality, affordable jewelry, accessories, and clothing since 2010. They delve in Gothic, steampunk, Lolita, classic Lolita, punk, metal, emo, new goth, industrial, cyberpunk, dolly, cult party, and Gyaru. I don't know what that is. Gyaru. But she'll explain it to us.
So basically, when I was about 15, I fell in love with alternative fashion and I wanted to, wear the fashion. But I didn't have a lot of money being a young teenager, so I started making my own items to wear. And then, to make a bit of extra money, I started selling them as well. So that was how my business started. And because I fell in love with lots of different alternative fashions, I make items for lots of different alternative fashions.
Describe some of the types of Gothic fashions that you create. Go over each one, but just give each one just a tiny description, just for anyone who's not familiar with what they are.
I started originally with the kind of vintage and antique inspired sort of Victorian Gothic style, and then it delved into Japanese street fashion inspired Gothic fashion like Lolita, which is kind of a Victorian doll inspired Gothic look. And then as I cater for cyber Gothic fashion, which is kind of like goth from the future. I say there's a couple of different Japanese fashions. So one of them you listed is Dolly K, which is a kind of medieval inspired sort of, it's rich colours, lots of tapestry and embroidery, a little bit witchy, things like that. So it all kind of blurs into, as I say, just one brand that my business has become. I like to make items that don't have one particular fashion style in mind. I like the people to choose what they would like to wear that item with.
And you make everything from choker collars to garters to T-shirts to dresses. I'm a big fan of whenever I see a woman with a choker collar on. I think it's incredibly sexy and attractive.
Right.
It also has a significant meaning for anyone in the BDSM community, of course, but
Of
doesn't
course.
necessarily always mean that you're into BDSM just because you wear a choker collar.
That's true.
I just need to make that point really clear for anyone listening, because I had a comment on a video one time when I had mentioned that, and they were like, "I wear it, but I don't like being whipped." And I was like, all right, calm down. So, but I do think they are incredibly sexy. I bought my girlfriend a lovely lacy Gothic one with like a gem on the end of it, but I've seen some of the ones on your website, and they all just look fantastic. And I've seen you with them on some of your pictures, and you look incredibly attractive wearing them as well.
Thank you very much. I actually started making the chokers, as you say, just for fashion. So I started with the heart and the O-ring ones, just because I thought they were cute. I was keeping on top of alternative fashion trends, and then I think they were popular, and I was happy about that. And then a friend turned around and said to me, "Yeah, you do realize, these appeal to the BDSM community as well, right?" Okay. And then that side of my business evolved as well, sort of blurring the fetish and the fashion together. And one of the fashion styles that I list on my website, the New Goth, that kind of caters a lot to the modern and sort of blurring into fetish style as well.
Take a couple examples of some of the products that you put together, and how long do they take?
So I tend to do things in batches. So something small like earrings can take me just a couple of minutes to put together. Harnesses, usually, depending on my workload and the batches take about a few days normally to make each one. Chokers, as I have batches, I have, long strips of leather that I cut to shape. So again, a few minutes to half an hour, depending on the design.
Any of the rings that you make with the animal skulls, are those real skulls?
They're not, no. They're cast from resin, sourced from an artist in the Netherlands.
I really like the one of the antique bronze bat ring and the Edgar Allan Poe ring. Have you ever been to Baltimore to see Poe's grave or see any of the Poe sites?
I haven't, but I would love to go.
You should get yourself an agent to kind of like start bringing your accessories over here and have them in Salem stores and Poe stores.
Oh, yeah, I would love that. It's a really good idea, actually.
Start branching out into more Gothic territories that are in the United States to give you some international acclaim.
Yeah, well, I sell all over the world online, and actually the majority of my orders are from the US, because shipping from the UK is quite reasonable. I know sending things from the US to England can sometimes be insane, but it's pretty affordable from England. So I do get a lot of orders from the US, so I'll have to contact people in the US and get my stuff out there.
Yeah, look up online any of the stores in Salem. There's a new Gothic store that just opened up called Die With Your Boots On. See about reaching out to them if they'd be interested in doing any type of cross promotion, because they're a brand new business in the area. So, just happen to say like, hey, I heard about you. I would just say I happen to hear about you on the Radio of Horror show, and I wanted to know a little bit more about your business. This is what I do. Would you like to do some cross promoting?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Do you do a lot of modeling yourself?
I do a little bit. I did it more frequently when I was younger, from about 17 to 19, and then I sort of focused on my business, and now I'm finding myself picking up a little bit more work, so I kind of think, should I start it again?
There is a amazing necklace collection as well that you have up here. A lot of it very twisted, some of it very religious, and some of it very macabre. And it definitely shows the inner workings of an artist, and you can see sometimes what the artist is working on a little bit into their psyche. Does a lot of your own personal day-to-day life activities or problems or anything affect your art in any way?
Day-to-day problems, not particularly, because I do this full-time. This is my everyday job, so every day I get to wake up and, either create orders that have already sold or work on new product. How I'm feeling can affect what kind of new things I design. So if I'm, feeling particularly inspired by traditional Gothic and Victorian architecture, things like that, I'll create more ornate pieces. As I say, I have a faux taxidermy line. I have a new line that's coming out soon that's inspired by the Paris catacombs that I visited for my birthday in February, so that'll be coming out soon.
Did you ever see that horror movie that was about the Paris catacombs? The movie poster had like an upside down Eiffel Tower.
I didn't, but every time I mentioned going to the catacombs to a friend, every friend mentioned it. But it does sound really good. Is it called As Above, So Below?
Yeah, exactly. I used to have dozens of those stupid posters because I get a lot of items to give away for free on Radio of Horror. And every time I mention that film to somebody who's been there or hasn't been there, they're like, I haven't, but I loved that poster. I was like, I had so many of those posters and I got rid of them, and I wish I held on to them, because it's even if the movie was garbage or not, it's a hit or miss film. It's depending on your horror taste, it's hit or miss. But the poster was just so iconic. It was a really interesting
concept.
Yeah, it really was, and it's like, God, this is such a lush area in France to make a horror movie about. Why would they do this found footage kind of movie? They could do things so much better.
That's true, but I think it was interesting that they actually got to film in the catacombs.
Yes, absolutely. True. When you're starting your day off, is it like right to the computers to check your orders, or is it right to the bench to start being creative? Or is it upstairs to pour yourself a bowl of Count Chocula cereal and a cup of coffee? A cup of black coffee? Haha.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, thanks to technology nowadays, I can wake up and immediately reach for my phone and check emails and orders, that kind of thing. And then I tend to get up, as you say, because I'm English, you have to make a cup of tea.
You have to make a cup of tea. Now, do you wait till, are you sleeping all day? And you're up at night working on your, no, I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. It's just a terrible joke.
Oh, no, that was unintentionally true. I am actually quite a night owl.
Oh,
so
you are?
I
Oh, my
say to
God. So my
people-
joke has some meaning to it.
Yes, I say to people, it's not just a look. I am actually pretty much a vampire. So yeah, so I say when I wake up in the morning, quotation marks, it's usually around 2 p.m. at the latest.
Oh.
Sorry, the earliest.
So, but in the United States, it's probably, like the middle, like the early morning or something, because you're like 5 hours ahead, right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so yeah, so...
I must be running on New York time or something.
Exactly. It's usually on East Coast time. It's based on New York. It's usually like the New York clock.
Yeah.
Where would you say your largest source of clients come from? Is it the United Kingdom? Is it the United States? Is it other parts of the world?
Like I say, majority of my orders do come from the United States, and then it's sort of on par with the UK. So I share popularity with the US and the UK, but I get orders from all over the world. I have a lot of European orders because England's not very far from Europe. I have orders from Japan. I think I've sent to United Arab Emirates before.
When developing all of this, all these types of products, what is your biggest hurdle to overcome?
At the moment, it's usually sourcing supplies and manufacturers. At the moment, my lines are costume jewelry. So if I design a line with a particular image in mind, I either have to make the item originally to get it exactly how I want, or I have to try and find the closest thing already made from a wholesaler. So I think it's outsourcing in supplies if I can't make the item originally.
Where can people find you on social media besides your going to your website, which is eighthsin.co.uk? What social media networks are you on that people can go to look at some of the products? I'm assuming Instagram is one.
Yep, Instagram is a big one. Username on Instagram is 8thsin Creations, which is the older name that I used to use. Now it's just 8thsin. And I also have a Facebook page, which again is 8thsin Creations. So it's mainly Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, and just before we also let you go, what is the name of the two models that you have on your website to give them some props?
The models are my very good friends, Lauren Horror and Elladora from London.
There's this one model you have. It's posted from June 27th, and the outfit she is wearing with the cross kind of belt, white and black on it. It's absolutely amazing and very beautiful by Broken Heritage Photography. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Model is Alex, the one with the long black hair, is it?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's Alex, again from London.
That outfit is fantastic.
Thank you. The harness and accessories were done by me.
That must be a pain in the ass to get on and off, too.
Yeah, I can imagine the latex.
You don't seem to make your outfits very easy for people to get on and off at a jiffy if they had to, go fight crime or something, huh?
Yeah, that's true. Well, it could be part of their outfit, I guess.
Yeah, it could be their superhero
the sexy
outfit.
Superhero or supervillain, depending on your taste.
Exactly. Are there a lot of, Gothic conventions or anything in your area that you can go to that you promote your stuff at?
I travel all around the UK to sell my items. I go to a few alternative fashion events, but I actually do a lot of Comic-Cons.
Oh, very cool. Yeah,
we
I
have
didn't
a
even think
large
about that.
Comic-Con base in the UK.
Oh, yes, you do. It's very, very big. But like I said, yeah, see about getting your fashion wares up here to the New England area. Again, Salem is a thriving Gothic community. So there's
that would be really great.
Definitely.
I did have contact with a shop in Buffalo, New York, about stocking my items, but it wasn't able to go through, unfortunately. So I'll try again.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on the show with us, Laura. We really